All right, good morning. We're going to go over the second fraction strategy today. Actually, I did the notes yesterday, but I did not include a video. So I'm not going to redo the notes on video. I'm going to just take a look at this, review them real quick, and then I'm going to do some examples of this. All right, so just to recap again, we have mixed numbers. So we went ahead and we looked at the whole number parts, or the basic, the whole numbers or the integers as we get further into it. And we dealt with them separately than the fraction parts. So the fraction parts we put together over here and we dealt with those separately. And then at the very end, we put it all back together. So that is a strategy, as opposed to maybe the old strategy where you stack them up, get the like denominators, add, and then reduce. As many things, there's a time and a place for things. Some things you can quickly do mentally without, having to do that. But, this actually eliminates a little bit, depending on the fractions, the need to find those like denominators. Because then once we get those fraction parts, then we slip up to strategy number one. Okay. So I'm going to do some examples of this. So I'm going to scoot down here. I'm going to do it to a different worksheet where we have more examples of this. So, all right, so we have some mixed numbers. They're signed. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just tackle these. Okay, so I've got 3 1/4 plus -2 4/9. And that negative is important because when we break that apart, we have to visually think, okay, I've got 3 plus a -2, so there's my integer parts. Then I'm going to take these guys over here, and I'm going to have 1/4 plus -4/9. So when the negative is out here, it's the whole number and the fraction that's negative. So I've got two things going on, and so I'm going to just bring these to the side here. 3 plus -2, 1/4 plus -4/9. So 3 plus -2, again, different signs, so we subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1. We had more positive, so it's going to be positive 1. But over here, using that method that we learned Tuesday, we're going to just simply multiply straight across 36. I don't have to look at that and say, oh, what's the common denominator? What do they all go into? Nope, I just multiply straight across. Start with this 1. That is not what I meant to do. Switch out. Okay, so we're going to start with this 1 and multiply, so that's going to be 9. Okay, and then I'm going to start with that -4 and multiply, and that's going to be -16, so plus a -16. Okay, so then we've got that. So now we do the math. Okay, 9 plus a -16. Again, different signs. So we're going to subtract. So 16 minus 9 is 7. 7 plus 9 is 16. I had more negatives. 16 had more, and it was negative, so it's going to be -7/36. And I look at that and I think, nope, there's nothing I can do to reduce that. Okay, so I've got -7/36. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this back to the problem. So plus a -7/36. Now the common theme throughout all this is that they're different signs, so I need to subtract. And in this particular case, that is true. So different signs I need to subtract. Now, probably the easiest way for some of you is to say, well, here's 0, here's 1, and I need to go back 7/36. Well, if I go back 7/36, where do I end up at? Should be 29/36. But, some of you think, I don't know, I might have messed up on that math. So I'm going to put 1/1, so I'll put it as a fraction, 1/1, whatever number that is. And I'm just going to multiply. Okay, so I've got 36. So I'm just doing the method we learned the other day. 1 times 36 is 36. -7 times 1 is -7, so plus a -7. And I just said 36 and wrote 37, so 36 plus a -7. Okay, and so what is 36 plus -7? If you need to do a calculator to do that, that's fine. It's basically 16 minus 7, which is 9, but It's 36 minus 7, so it's 29. So yeah, I was right. It's 29/36. Doing it this method, I did not have to think about the number line. Okay, it's good to have that fraction sense. I mean, the fraction sense is like common sense with fractions. It will get you out of jams and confirm things that you were unsure of. Okay, but if you don't have that fraction sense, you can just simply go back to what we did, on Tuesday. Okay, so that's the way we go. So there's a couple of things that I just want to review. One, you have to remember what the sign rules are, because those sign rules came into play throughout the whole problem. Different signs subtract, what's the sign of the bigger one? Different signs subtract, what's the sign of the bigger one? In that case, negative. Different signs subtract, what's the sign of the bigger one? In this case, positive. And so you have to be able to keep an eye on those sign rules all the way throughout. And so that's really kind of the added. This is a different strategy than maybe you've used to. Maybe you've seen this before, but also now we're throwing in the idea that the fractions can be positive or negative. All right, so let's take a look at this next one. Okay, so on this next one, we have -4 2/3 plus -1 4/7. Now, in this case, they're both negative. Okay, so this is negative and negative. So we'll see what ends up happening. If we have same sign, we add, give the sign they share. All right, so I'm just simply going to put these two together. So -4 plus -1 is -5. 4 plus 1 is 5. They were both negative. Okay, and then I've got -2/3 plus -4/7. Run it across, 21. Let's choose a different color. Okay, -2 times 7 is -14 plus, put my line, -4 times 3 is -12. And so I've got -26/21. And then you guys pointed out yesterday that, oh, look, I can make that a mixed number. So that's -1, and so 6 minus 1 is 5, so 5 21s. Okay, so again, those sign rules. I had same, so I added, they're both negative. I had same, so I added, they're both negative. And then I made it mix. So now I bring this back into the original problem. So I have -5 plus -1 and 5 21s. So again, they're same sign. It could be possible something happened and our signs got different. Probably not. Okay, so -5 plus a -1. So that's going to be -6 and 5 21s. And that is how I model that. So I take the whole number part of it away, I deal with the fraction, and then I bring it back and combine those. All right, one more time. So let's do one more example of this, and so I'm going to do this one here. Let's do this, number 14. So I got 9 5/8 plus -7 1/2. And again, different signs. So I've got different signs. Okay, so I'm thinking I've got different signs. I'm going to end up subtracting quite a bit. So I've got 9 plus a -7. Now 9 and 7, the difference is 2. I had 9 is bigger and it's positive, so it's going to be positive 2. I have 5/8 plus a -1/2, and then I just go to it. 16. Come on, 16. And then I'm going to multiply, so that's 10. 5 times 2 is 10, plus, then I'm going to multiply, -1 times 8 is -8. Different signs, so I subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2. I had more positives, okay, because the 10 was bigger, so it's positive 2/16, reduce, 1/8. Bring it back. So I deal with the fractions, bring it back. Now it's positive plus 1/8. Now they're same sign. Okay, this is different than the other ones. When we got out of the fraction step over here, they end up still being opposite signs. But when I got out of this one became positive. So that's kind of nice. I go back through and double check to make sure I didn't mess anything up. But yeah, that happens. So I don't have to worry about subtracting. I don't have to worry about different signs subtract. It's just simply same sign now, add 2 and 1/8. I love the add. I just kind of squish them together. Okay. And so that's how we do that. Okay. So it can be kind of, it's a little, I don't know. In some cases, it's easier to find the common denominator, but in some cases, that common denominator, like a number 15, is going to be 40. So then you're having to do all this and you're doing all this when really, I could take -9 and that's -15. Uh, and then I just go, let's see, 5 times 8 is 40. 2 times 8 is 16, so 16. 5 times 5 is 25. Oh, but that's a negative, so -25. That's where this kind of shortcut, oh, that's a -2. So that's negative plus a -25. And you kind of see where I'm going at this. This is -41 over 40, so equals -1 and 1/40th. So put that together with that, and you get -16 and 1/40th. So I add them because they're both negative. All right. So kind of, I don't know. I think it's kind of easier to do it this way than try to guess what the common denominator is and do all that. It kind of takes away some of that. And so that is how to do this. You'll see more of this, but no assignment that was associated with this, other than get more math yesterday. So that is it for these notes.